So let's talk about accounting versus finance, the career path. So I'm always accounting. I'm always stay accounting. And he wants to be Mike Tyson, so I'm gonna be Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? Rumble in the jungle. All right, here we go. So when you graduate school and you have that bachelor's in accounting or that, what's the degree in finance? Help me understand.
I mean, okay.
Oh yeah, it's accounting. That's right. That's right. So when you have that degree, what do you do? What's your first step in finance?
I would say from the finance side, I mean, when you come in as an analyst, one is you're not expected to know everything. Actually, most people assume that you don't know much because you're just new to it.
Right.
I mean, you've learned the theory in school, but now, I mean, you're going to do some basic analysis where, let's say, you know, if the company's trying to, or your department's trying to figure something out. I mean, whether you may do like a cash flow analysis, and more than likely they already have the template created.
Okay.
So you're really collecting the data that goes into the template.
Okay.
And then you're giving the results to somebody else.
Okay. As a staff accountant, I would say you're generally going to do journal entries, balance sheet reconciliations. You're going to scrub the numbers and make sure they're looking right. You're really going to learn the business itself, the company, and their best practices. To be perfectly blunt, it's the ground level. It's the grunt work. This is where you earn your chops. This is where you learn the business. This is where you learn the terminology. This is where you get comfortable in your field because it's going to take you for a ride. Now, let's talk about the next step. Senior accountant, senior
analyst. At the senior level, that's where you actually start to have a little bit more of a voice. Whether it's like when we're having, you know, you're expected to speak up a little bit more about, hey, this analysis that you did when you looked at the numbers, hey, what jumped out to you? Hey, what kind of opportunities are you seeing? I expect you to actually contribute to the discussion as opposed to just doing background grunt work.
That's interesting because for the staff, the senior accountant role, at this point, I expect you to understand the journal entries. You know the month-end close process. You even know down to the days of what we should be focused on. For instance, day one revenue, day one, day two revenue, day 3 and 4 cost of goods sold or cost of service provided, and then from there it's the SG&A lines, and we kind of work our way to the balance sheet. So I expect you to know that. Want to go to manager?
Yep.
We talked about senior. Let's go to manager. So same thing. We have accounting manager, manager analyst, or
so it'd be like a finance manager.
Finance manager. I am now looking at my accounting manager because they've made it through staff accountant. They've made it through senior accountant. So now as a manager, you should know how this whole platform works. Whether you are new to the company or whether you've been with the company for years, you should know how it works.
So our finance side, once you get to the manager level, you know, there are a bit higher expectations because not only do I expect you to know, you know, the technical side of finance, because you have to be able to review what the analyst did, what the senior did. You should be able to look at, you know, financial models, and you should be able to notice when things are off because you'll have familiarity with, you know, key metrics or key financial statement analysis, to where you can look at those things and be like, something doesn't look right there. And also at a manager level, you should have understanding of accounting principles. Like, for example, a lot of companies are going through 606 accounting change. As a finance manager, if you're going to build financial models, you need to be able to understand that because you need to be able to have a discussion with, let's say, the sales team and the way that they're negotiating that deal. You should have at least enough understanding to know that, hey, that's probably going to trigger some type of special accounting. I need to go talk to the controller, or I need to go talk to the accounting manager. Like, you should know those, I guess, be dangerous enough to where you know when you need to have a deeper conversation about a technical accounting subject matter.
And that's an excellent point to make as well. Where's my bell? Because I say that because accounting rules change and things come up and you have to be aware of it. So I expect my accounting manager to know about it, to be more than dangerous with it, to start even thinking through what impact is that going to have to our reports that we've presented in the past, as well as what we're going to do in the future.
The manager level is where you also have to start I guess you say not start, but you should have these skills developed of being able to translate financial data to non-finance team members. So whether you're talking to someone in operations or someone in engineering or someone in sales, like you should be able to translate that financial data into something that they understand, because at the manager level, your job is to help the business make good decisions.
Ready for senior manager?
Yeah.
All right, let's go up the ladder. So now let's talk senior manager.
Okay.
And this is, you don't really see this a lot in every business. It's a very, I would say, high level role, and you really see it in more of your Fortune 500, Fortune 100, especially where your business is so large that you need to get the data through a lot of different fields, or you have, your business is wide and you're accumulating the data up to the top. And the experience here is taking what the manager knows and does and really is able to do it across a bigger platform, to be able to accumulate the data, manage the team, set the goals, work the team, and then communicate to the upper levels of management what's going on in the business and really owning it.
At that senior finance manager level, my expectation for a senior finance manager, and the expectation that was given to me, is you should be able to walk into a room, into a meeting with a executive of another discipline, like with a sales executive, and you should be able to have a intelligent conversation about the business, about the sales at their level, but being able to provide insight from the finances. So you should be able to be a business partner to executives of other disciplines by that point.
That's an excellent point, and a big role for the senior manager. You are now the leader of your business unit or department or area, being a country, a section of the country. You are speaking on behalf of that department. All right, so let's go executive level, because I think this is when the pyramid finally comes together, right?
I would say somewhat.
Okay.
I mean, from my perspective, from a finance at the executive level, you are almost expected to be an owner of the business, to where there have been situations where I've been in where, hey, the operations executive, look to me to be able to step in and lead the team as they would. But having the wide breadth of the finance information, just being able to step in and lead the team, let's say if they had to be out or they had to go do something else, like their team actually looks at me as a leader. Whereas at the senior finance manager role, it's like the executive respected what I brought to the table, but when you get to the executive level, not only does your team look to you to lead, but other people's team look. Like when I was working at different companies, like the sales team at that executive level, they were looking for insight and direction from me, although they didn't even report to me. Because there you really have to own guiding the business and even like looking proactively, like, hey, when something happens, it's like figuring out, hey, how do we prepare ourselves for this?
I would say from a controller position, kind of starting there, you are putting out the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, and it's accurate and ready to go. You're managing the auditors, external, internal, and handling that whole process, which we'll talk about in another video. But at that level on the accounting side, you are owning the numbers. This is what we did. These are the journal entries we made. This is our approval process. This is how you are comfortable, meaning the controls, all of that situation. You know the whole platform and can speak to all of the risk, all of it. So where on the finance side, it sounds like you're still owning and managing the business, but on the accounting side, you are standing with your head up that these numbers that are in this document are correct, because I know how my whole team operates.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to click the subscribe button and follow us on all social media platforms as the Business Talk Library.